Hi, salut, c'est Deg du groupe Phoenix. You're listening to KVRX Austin and HD1 and HD number 2.
This program is brought to you in part by Pod ATX Fest, coming to the UT Austin campus August 16th through 19th.
The conference is open to all levels of podcasting experience, including professionals, journalists, hobbyists, and students.
Sessions feature industry leaders like Laura Beale of Dr. Death, Dallas Taylor of 20,000 Hertz, Kate Dawson of Tenfold More Wicked and Wicked Words, Stephanie Koo and the PRX training team. Early bird and student registration available now at podatxfest.com.
Pod ATX Fest is a production of UT Austin, Moody, College of Communications, The Drag Audio, Texas Student Media, and KUT and KUTX Studios.
KVRX shares the 91.7 FM frequency with Co-op Community Radio. We broadcast on the FM airways Monday through Friday overnight from 7 p.m. to 9 a.m. and on the weekends from 10 p.m. to 9 a.m. You can always listen to KVRX by tuning into the digital stream on kvrx.org. KVRX, none of the hits, all of the time.
KVRX, in accordance with federal law and FCC regulations, confines the broadcast of indecent materials to between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. Sensitive listeners and children are advised to tune out during this time. Hello all, and welcome to Close the Open Eye. I'm your host, DJ Generic. I've never been a high art, sure. Hello? It seems we're having some technical difficulties today. A little bit of buzzing in my ear, a little bit of interference here and there. Maybe it's cult activity, or maybe we just need a new aux cord. Who knows? But either way, I've never been a fan of, or a big fan of high art. Paintings, sculptures, everything associated with art has never been my thing. I like looking at it sometimes, but I'm much more of a historical guy, if you couldn't tell. I love history and writing, but I could never get into art, which is sort of parallel to history and writing in a way. Maybe it's because I've never been good at drawing or painting, or maybe it's because so many of my friends are, but either way, most of my experience with art has been online, or within the pages of comics or graphic novels. So not very diverse, I guess. I've had my share of high art experiences, though. I've been both to the MoMA and Guggenheim in New York, both excellent experiences, but I could never see myself making anything on any of those walls, which is normal for most artists, I suppose. But recently, I went to visit the Blanton Museum of Art for the first time, and I was met with a few surprises. First of all, great museum. This isn't a call to action or anything, but if you're a UT student, you get in for free, and it's a nice way to kill a few hours. But it's a fine museum, not even solely focusing on art. There's plenty of actual historical artifacts, or at least exhibits that aren't solely just frames. There are things to take away from the museum that are more than just one thing or another. And the second thing was a lot of open space. A lot of outlines of frames against the white walls. Places where there were paintings, but seemingly not anymore. It caught me off guard. Usually when museums remove exhibits or pieces, they have backups to take up the original space. It would be weird if the Smithsonian just removed its T-Rex skeleton, especially if they didn't have a replacement, or something to make up for the space. So I was somewhat taken aback. when the Blanton just left empty space. I mean, it is a respectable museum. Out of curiosity, I went up to one of the gallery attendants and asked them about it. I apologize for the audio quality. It was a bit of a crowded day, but this is what he said.
The break-in was odd, to say the least. You see, the Blanton sometimes accepts paintings with no true historical value. That's what makes us special, in a sense. We will take pieces based solely on their aesthetic merits. And the break-in resulted in many of those types of pieces being stolen. It's funny, it seems the thieves did little to no research on what they came in for, and just stole whatever they thought looked nice. The low value of the paintings stolen is also why there hasn't been much alarm raised. We've upped our security measures, and that's what matters. Though it's odd. The thieves certainly had an air of professionalism about them. They were able to shut down all our cameras and security systems with ease. It's certainly weird that they would go so far, only to steal a few, well, frankly, worthless paintings. There are many variables left unknown. Too many X factors left unsolved. Pardon, I'm rambling. The break-in was odd, to say the...
There's something else I forgot to mention. The paintings weren't missing out of pure disappearance. There was, in fact, a break-in. If you remembered the promo for last week, which I forgot to upload this week due to a lot of stuff happening this week. I'm sure everyone's been busy with midterms, but this episode was in fact titled The Blanton Break-In. And that's because, well, there was a break-in at the Blanton. Sorry, I'm sounding like Marvel dialogue, but either way. I talked to him for a bit and eventually got a catalog of all the paintings stolen. Though this list came with the toll of listening to this guy go on and on about how math and art are related for a few hours. I'm a fan of neither, so it was especially dreadful. He seems like a nice old man, though. Either way, I've gotten this list, and I've decided that we should go through it together. You may be thinking, I haven't once mentioned the open eye today. Which is true. So what does this break-in have to do with anything? Well, smartasses, why would I be covering a seemingly odd break-in on my cult radio show if it had nothing to do with said cult? Give me a sec, and I'll weave you my thesis. Before we dive in, though, here are some tunes and other stuff. You're listening to Close the Open Eye here on KVRX 91.7 FM, HD1 and HD2. First up is Cheer Up by the Make-Believes. First up is Cheer Up by the Make-Believes. First up is Cheer Up by the Make-Believes. You gotta be kidding me. Now my Spotify's refusing to work with me. What a great day it's being today, folks. Okay, now I get the buzzing in my ear. Unironically getting... Hello? Okay, I think our tech is just really... Yeah, our tech is very messed up today. I don't know what's going on. Oh. Hello? Oh my god, what is happening? Nothing's functioning. This is a great way to start the show. It's very much zoning me out. Also, my mic levels are progressively dropping. I don't know what's happening. This isn't a part of the show, if you'd believe it or not. Come on, come on. I'm sorry, folks. This is becoming a very large issue if you can't tell. Come on, come on. Okay, I'm reopening it. Come on. There we go. Finally. That's creepy. The second I reboot Spotify, my mic levels go back up. Oh, I'm getting shivers, y'all. We're not even at the creepy part yet, and I'm already having to deal with this. I don't like the implications of that very much.
All your crying gets me down in the gutter. You were in the lost and found by another guy. Finally played you for a clown in the summer. That's when I came along. I can change your gray to sun in a second's time. I can make your sorrow fun if you let me try. Just put out your little hand, my darling one, and I'll give you mine. Cheer up, baby, baby. Cheer up now. Cheer up, baby, baby. Cheer up,
To anyone listening, Hello? There we go. I apologize. There are certainly some technical difficulties in the building with us today. If it gets too hard or you're unable to hear at all, please do call into the booth. Or if you have me on anything, please text me. I want to make sure that this is a cohesive narrative experience. But welcome back to Close the Open Eye. I'm DJ Generic, and before we dive into our painting palette, here's a few things you need to know, a few consistencies about every artwork. Every piece has a small red stamp present somewhere, on either the canvas, frame, or other fixture of the piece. It was in the shape of, believe this, I'm not sure. Maybe over time it's faded and splotchy, but it was at one point a very clear, very specific stamp. Nowadays it's just a red stain. Speaking of red, each painting uses a very specific tone of red. Whether in a drop or as a background, each painting uses a red known as le sang de la vue, which translates to sight's blood. You wonder how these cults stay underground. Now here's the wild one. You know how the Blanton guy said that sometimes they take paintings with no historic meaning? He wasn't kidding. None of these artists or any of these pieces can be found online outside of the Blanton catalog that I was given. That's why I went up to him in the first place, or needed the catalog in the first place, because I would look them up online and I'd find nothing. There's not in books, they're not online, nowhere. It's if they appeared, made these pieces, and then disappeared. It's weird. Even the most underground artists have a sort of following. So to see no mention of them anywhere at all is astounding. And maybe on purpose. But that's it right now. So, let's go through the paintings. There are a few, so I'll try to run through them very quickly. And yes, I understand that describing a painting on a radio show isn't the best way to do this. But I couldn't get our TV station to work with me, so just listen well. Gary Illman, Berkeley, California, 1945 to 2004. Daring, painted 1975, 79. Oil on canvas. Gift of Jonathan T. Ruth, donated 1980. I believe in angels, Illman spoke when asked on his perception of this piece. When my parents left up above, I found myself living a life on my own. Illman recollects his early life and early paintings. Angels helped me live my life, and through that, they taught me to paint. Angels take a large presence in this piece, flying through the sky as the man below watches. While a normal style of painting, Illman innovates the use of oil paint by incorporating small pieces of glass inside the paint to illuminate the angels under light. The angels have a purpose. They guide us, says Illman when asked about the position of the angels. If looked at correctly, the angels form a sort of symbol. Quote, it means to perceive, to understand. The angels help us understand. There's your official description. Basically, that's what you found on the little placard next to the painting. And the painting itself is, sort of weird. It features a man on a hill staring up as angels fly above him. The sun is rising in the background, lighting some of the angels up. It's a pretty painting at first glance. But the more I look at it, I just get this weird gut feeling. That being said, ever since our technical difficulties earlier, I've had a lot of weird gut feelings. As if there's someone here looking over my shoulder. I keep looking around expecting to find a face and no one's here. I don't know if that's worse. But something is wrong with the painting. And it's the ever-present angels. They're flying in this weird position. And as the placard said, they form a symbol. I drew lines between the angels, and it's sort of an ankh, like from ancient Egypt. But it's much sharper, a lot of edges. It makes me feel uneasy. The ankh usually represents life, or the key to life. So seeing it so bastardized is, weird. Oh, the red paint on this one is used on the clothes of the man, sort of making it look like he's bloody from the neck down. I mean, the clothes don't exactly stop anywhere on the body, it's just the red and some shading, or I guess lighting in this sense, in the shape of his body. As for the stamp, it's in the corner of the painting. That's somewhat normal, but stamping paintings are usually done to verify the quality and authenticity of the piece. And it's usually an indented, impacted stamp, not a wax stamp like this one. Wax stamping just ruins the painting, right? Also, the Illman guy is definitely a wacko. What did he mean when his parents left up above? Also, Jonathan T. Ruth? Again, you really wonder how these guys aren't completely exposed. For those who don't understand, which I'm sure all of you do. T. Ruth? T. Ruth? Come on. Say it with me. Truth. What is the open eye worship? Truth. God, I could do this crap in my sleep. No offense to any open eye listeners watching or listening. I'm sure you're working hard, buddy. Sorry, next painting. Farah Amari. Tabuk, Saudi Arabia, 1988 to present. One thing to mention. According to this placard, which these are updated very frequently, especially if the artist dies, this person is still alive. There is no Farah Amari that I could find, especially not one from Tabuk, Saudi Arabia, anywhere. I scoured Facebook, I scoured national databases, I scoured Tabuk's databases, I looked for birth certificates, marriage certificates, nothing. Nothing about any of these people in any of these paintings seemingly exist. Sorry, back to it. The Canal, 2005. Doesn't have a donation or gift, so maybe this was painted in-house. The Canal means a lot to Farah Amari. She consistently shows this piece off as her favorite. The depths of this world are dark, scary. I feel the Canal illustrates that. Using tones of red and maroon, Mari paints a portrait of the chasms found in modern culture. I believe that eventually, the Canal will grow should we not take action against it. If we don't, the world itself will become a chasm, and we will be lost in the darkness. Many believe that Amari's experience with commune life has given her insight into the world, leading to her dark outlook. This can be seen with the small commune in the background of the painting itself. We cannot lose our sight to the Canal. Okay, wait, so I just realized, who's writing these? I mean, seriously, there are unknown painters. These are unknown people. Like I just said, no record of their existence exists. So how do many know, let alone believe, that Amari's commune life left an influence on her painting? Also, commune life is a pretty nice weighing of cult membership, right? That's, if your friend comes up to you and says, "Oh, I'm living on a commune with a bunch of people," that's code for I'm in a cult. Just a warning for anyone who might have to deal with that in the future. Lord knows the open eyes presence is getting bigger. Also, Lord knows a good few communes can corroborate that. And the piece itself isn't weird on its own, much like the last. It depicts a large canal, maybe a canyon at that point, dividing two halves of land. As the placard said, there's a small building in the background, but I have no idea how they identified it as a commune, though. But I just got an email. Man, don't you guys hate spam? Something about it. Something about it. Sorry. I have no idea how they identified it as a commune, though. It could be any building. The stamp is marked right above the building, almost marking it. Either way, there's a large river in the canal, and this is where things get a little funky. The river is where that certain tone of red is used, which hopefully can let you glean that it's a river of blood. In the river are many objects, but mostly there are people drowning in the blood. In those watery deaths lie our second symbol. Putting lines between each person creates a symbol much like the Celtic symbol of death. Again, it's much more jagged. So life and death, both vandalized. Why? Let's try and find out. Gabriel Monteo, Milan, Italy, 1899 to 1941. One witness. 1909. Known as a child prodigy, Monteo was well known in Milan's art scene in the early 1900s. Though no interviews with him exist, his private journal gives readers a lead into what one witness means. The witness is made to see. Nothing more. He will see the end. He will be created in the beginning. He will have created the beginning itself. His job is almost finished. And after it is done, my painting will be the last remnant of his existence. Using this immense existential dread, Monteo illustrates the feeling of being small in an uncaring universe. This one made me puke the first time I saw it. It's the eye. It's the goddamn eye. It's not there, but I know it's there. The birds make up the eye. I can see it. I can... Crap. I'm sorry. Give me a bit. The eye uses the red. The birds use the red to make up the eye. That's the symbol. And the stamp is right in the center, right in the pupil. The goddamn pupil. It's too small. It was bigger. It was... Fuck. I need to use the restroom. Give me a sec. This is Close the Open Eye on KVRX 91.7 FM, HD1 and HD2. Coming up next is... Oh, god damn it, an indecency reading. KVRX, in accordance with federal law and FCC regulations, confines the broadcast of indecent material between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. Sensitive listeners and children are advised to tune out during this time. I'm really glad some of you don't have to see this painting. Coming up next is La Rue by... Cortex.
Ils sont libres comme l'air, ils se jettent des regards.
frame, there's 1,000 paintings, and we're dancing on the canvas we're creating. Through my window pane, effervescent showers. Soon the hummingbirds surround the budding flowers. After pouring rain, there's a bluebird waiting. And each sight and sound is endless and amazing. I see bright red kites in the distance. A new song playing in my mind. It gets loud as I listen. Window pane, watching all my world come to life. There's a bright red kite in the distance. A new song playing in my mind. It is loud as I listen. Window panes, back to the place where I sang la la. Amber Island, Amber Island, take me back to the times where I sang la la. Amber Island, Amber Island, take me back to the place where I sang la la. Amber Island, Amber Island, take me back to the times where I sang la la. Amber Island, Amber Island, take me back to the place where I sang la la. Amber Island, Amber Island, take me back to the times where I sang la la. Amber Island, Amber Island, take me back to the place where I sang la la.
Hot naps and fevered dreams, bashful and bite and flee, strong glass on balconies, tough love for loveless things. Could wear a face like that, morose and eyes like mine, and these stars come rolling fast. How strongly I think I When the morning comes and when the morning's done, will the morning birds sound like morning doves? Does it turn to dust when something to trust? The brush is lovely enough. You must sweep me up like dust. Treat me like a man, not a mountain of crumbs. Don't need to stick around, just a broom back to bust. Strong enough to succumb to become the one I love. When they see me in my shoes, see me in the news, nothing's new, how are you? Feel like I might catch fear for the ladder. Jacob feels the fields in their souls, angel power, God. Father, figured it out. No doubt I'm out of bounds. How about that? I'm in the clouds, I'm forever napping. Heaven's a place, nothing ever happens. And he shows his face and runs away laughing.
Hello, everyone. I'm back from my break. You may be hearing something a little peculiar behind this music. We're running a bit low on time, so my scheduling today was not as, it didn't meet my expectations. Someone was a little late, and we'll get into who that was after this. Thank you for being so patient.
Hi, my name's Nika Rubio, and you're listening to KVRX Radio. Woo!
Whoa! Wait, where am I? Wait, is that Ringo Starr?
Yes, it is I, Ringo Starr. Who are you?
I'm DJ John F. Spinity.
Oh, yes. I landed in 1964 with the Beatles at the airport that's named after you. To what do I owe the pleasure?
What's the most weird, peculiar thing you've ever done, Mr. Ringo Starr? If that's really who you are.
I listen to the Artist Radio program. It's it's KVRX. What a coincidence. It was called Something Peculiar.
Do you know what hour the show's at?
It's Friday at 7 a.m. To start the weekend right, go to the KVRX website.
Bye, Ringo Starr. Wait, no! Don't listen to the Beach Boys!
Welcome back to Close the Open Eye. I'm DJ Generic, and in the background of today's selection, you may have started to hear this. I apologize. Again, technical difficulties plague us today. You may have been hearing this. Now, for context of what that is You Are an Idiot, a song or jingle that was perpetuated a good bit in the early 2000s and late 90s online. It came from viruses, it came from spam websites. Either way, just to tell you that you are an idiot. So, I'm going to talk to you about something, and we'll get back to what that was in a bit. The break-in isn't real. Nobody broke into the Blanton. All those paintings, artists, placards, fake. Every single detail. Even the gallery attendant was an AI voice. You may be wondering why I just made that all up. For the sake of content? To have a script? To draw attention? Well, to the last one, yes. See, nobody knows much about the open eye. Outside of the documents I've recovered, quite literally nothing exists about them. So, whether it may be because they're evil, powerful, or whatever else, nobody knows much about them. And I have to do what I can to dig up more info about them. So I faked these paintings. What I didn't fake was the symbols being used in them. Same for the red and the stamps. See, the open eye likes to be sneaky about their existence, like a child playing a joke. They mark things with that stamp, using that red color. Maybe something else, like a symbol. And I had tracked down places and items and people that had affiliations with one or the other. But I couldn't just dive in and risk breaking into an old person's home or local business. So I fabricated this to see if it was real. If there was a connection. And I've come back from my trip to the bathroom to see my entire computer wiped. Completely wiped. You know how I mentioned presences over my shoulder earlier? One of them knocked something off the desk outside in the station earlier, and I heard it. Along with the technical difficulties, I knew something was up. I really knew something was wrong when that email I got had a picture of my house in it. From a fake email. Something I couldn't track back. They were all attempts to get me out of the booth. What they didn't think about, though, was if I had gone to my house, I would have taken my laptop with me. So, to help them out a little bit, I made a quick trip to the bathroom. You see, I had a lot more planned. I had a few more paintings up my sleeve, but none of them needed to work. None of them needed to exist, solely because they did my work for me. I was gone for only a few minutes, and in that time they came in and wiped my laptop, leaving a drop of that signature red paint. What they didn't realize, though, that modifying some of my files would trigger that "you are an idiot" tone, which is what you heard. And little do they know that a lot of the documents on my laptop were also fake, rooted in no reality. What is real are physical and backup documents that I have stored in different places and different ways. So I thank you, agents of the open eye. You have led me closer and closer to you. I believe that someone had to have caught you slipping. Whether it was the government, the NDA, whoever. I just never expected it to be me. Just know that I'll keep doing my damnedest to stay ahead of you. No matter what. There goes the lights. And auto is down. Well, if anyone's still listening, don't you worry about me. I recently invested in a crowbar, and I intend to put it to good use. After this altercation, I'll be making a tour of the sites I found marked. I'll keep y'all updated. Either way, this has been Close the Open Eye with me, DJ Generic. There goes the station door. Come on, creeps! Let's dance! Here on KVRX 91.7 FM HD1 and HD2. My beatdown soundtrack today is More Spell on You by Eddie Johns. Come on! I felt held my own against one of you before. I can handle two.
I try to put a spell on you, and that's not what I'm
This program is brought to you in part by Pod ATX Fest, coming to the UT Austin campus August 16th through 19th.